What if I told you that right here on our own planet, there are places so strange, so impossible, that your brain will refuse to accept they are real? Places that look like they were ripped from another solar system. Landscapes that seem painted by gods who never heard of the rules of Earth. Forests of blood-red trees, crystals the size of skyscrapers, deserts that burn like the gates of hell, mountains that float in the clouds. These are not computer-generated fantasies. These are actual locations you can stand on, if you dare. Today we are going on a journey through the top 15 impossible places on Earth that will make you question everything you thought you knew about our world. And with every single one, I will tell you the real story of how nature created these miracles. Let's begin. Number 1. The Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Imagine walking along a wild, windswept coast on the edge of the Atlantic. Suddenly, the ground beneath your feet changes. The ordinary rocks disappear, and you find yourself standing on thousands of perfect hexagonal stone pillars rising out of the sea like a giant staircase. This is the Giant's Causeway. According to ancient Irish legend, the warrior Finn McCool built this path so he could walk across the sea to fight a Scottish giant. But the truth is even more incredible. Around 60 million years ago, volcanic eruptions poured rivers of molten basalt into the ocean. As the lava cooled slowly and evenly, it cracked into these almost perfect six-sided columns, some reaching 12 meters high. Nature created a geometric masterpiece that looks deliberately designed. When the mist rolls in and the waves crash against these black pillars, it truly feels like you are standing on the edge of an ancient battlefield between gods. Number 2. The Chocolate Hills, Philippines. Now travel halfway around the world to the island of Bohol. Look across the green countryside, and your eyes refuse to believe what they see. More than 1,200 perfectly cone-shaped hills, rising one after another, like a field of giant chocolate kisses left by some cosmic giant. In the dry season, the grass turns brown, and the hills look exactly like chocolate. Local legends say two giants once threw stones and earth at each other during a fight, and these hills are the remains of their battle. Science tells a quieter but still amazing story. Over millions of years, coral limestone was pushed up from the sea, then slowly eroded by rain into these almost identical conical shapes. No two are exactly the same height, yet the overall pattern looks intentional, as if someone carefully planted them. Standing among them at sunrise, with fog filling the valleys, feels like waking up inside a children's storybook that somehow became real. Number 3. Mono Lake, California, USA. In the high desert east of Yosemite, a lake sits under an endless blue sky, but it is no ordinary lake. Rising from the water are strange, twisted towers of white rock that look like the bones of some long-dead sea monster. These are tufa towers, formed over thousands of years when underwater springs rich in calcium mixed with the lake's alkaline water. The result is pure calcium carbonate that grows into these alien spires. Mono Lake is one of the oldest lakes in North America, more than 760,000 years old. It has no outlet, so minerals have concentrated for almost 1 million years, creating water 3 times saltier than the ocean and so alkaline it feels slippery. Birds by the millions stop here. When the light hits those white towers at dusk, The whole place looks like a forgotten planet, waiting for explorers who will never come. Number 4. The Wave, Arizona, USA. Deep in the desert near the Utah-Arizona border lies a place so fragile and so beautiful that only 20 people a day are allowed to visit. It is called the Wave. Imagine sandstone that looks like liquid, swirling red, orange, and yellow stripes frozen in mid-flow. The rock appears soft, almost melting, as if a painter threw wet paint across the desert, and it hardened overnight. These patterns were created 190 million years ago, when giant sand dunes were buried, compressed into sandstone, and then slowly carved by wind and water into the flowing shapes we see today. Walking through the Wave feels like stepping inside a living painting. Every turn reveals a new curve, a new color, a new impossible shape. It is one of the most photographed places on Earth, and still, somehow, no photograph can prepare you for standing inside it. Number 5. Bryce Canyon, Utah, USA. At first glance, it looks like a city of stone towers built by giants. Thousands of thin, colorful spires called hoodoos rise from the canyon floor in shades of red, orange, pink, and white. They look like they should topple over at any moment. Native American legends say the hoodoos are people who were turned to stone by angry gods. Geologists explain that about 50 million years ago, this area was a lake. Sediments settled in colorful layers. Then the Colorado Plateau rose, and water, ice, and wind began carving the soft rock into these freestanding pillars. The process is still happening today. New hoodoos are born, and old ones crumble every year. Standing on the rim at sunrise, when the light turns the entire amphitheater into glowing fire, is one of the most surreal experiences on the planet. Number 6. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, China. If the floating mountains in the movie Avatar looked familiar, this is why. In the heart of Hunan Province, thousands of quartz sandstone pillars rise straight up from the forest floor, some more than 1,000 meters tall, wrapped in mist and ancient trees. These pillars began forming around 380 million years ago as sandstone on an ancient seabed. Tectonic forces lifted them, and millions of years of rain and rivers carved deep valleys, leaving only the hardest columns standing. Local people have lived among these stone forests for centuries, building temples and walking trails that cling to the cliffs. When the clouds fill the valleys and only the tops of the pillars poke through, it truly looks like the mountains are floating in the sky. Nature created the real Avatar landscape long before Hollywood ever imagined it. Number 7. Pamukkale, Turkey. In western Turkey, there is a place whose name means Cotton Castle. White terraces cascade down a hillside like frozen waterfalls of pure snow. Warm, turquoise water pools in the basins, and people bathe in them as if they are sitting inside a dream. For more than 2,000 years, these terraces have been forming. Hot springs rich in calcium carbonate rise from the earth. As the water cools and evaporates, it leaves behind pure white travertine. Layer by layer, century by century, the terraces grow. The ancient Greeks and Romans built a city called Hierapolis here because they believed the waters had healing powers. Cleopatra is said to have bathed in these pools. Even today, walking barefoot across the warm white stone while looking out over the turquoise water feels completely otherworldly. Number 8. Salar de Uyuni, Bolivia. At 3,656 meters above sea level in the Andes sits the largest salt flat on Earth, more than 10,000 square kilometers of pure white salt. When the rains come and a thin layer of water covers the surface, the entire landscape turns into the world's biggest mirror. The sky and the ground become one. You can no longer tell where the earth ends and the heavens begin. This impossible mirror was born from ancient lakes. Around 40,000 years ago, a giant lake called Lake Minchin covered the area. As the climate dried, the lake slowly evaporated, leaving behind layer after layer of salt. Today, the Salar holds an estimated 10 billion tons of salt and the world's largest lithium reserves. Local Aymara legends say the salt was formed from the tears of a goddess who cried while breastfeeding her child after her husband left her. Standing in the middle of that endless white plain, under a perfect reflection of the sky, is one of the most disorienting and beautiful experiences a human can have. Number 9. Zhangye, Danxia, China, the Rainbow Mountains. In the Gansu province of China, the mountains themselves are painted. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple stripes run across the hills like a giant rainbow frozen in stone. These colors come from different minerals laid down over 24 million years as sediments in an ancient lake and river system. Then the collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates tilted and folded the layers, and wind and rain carved them into the soft, rolling hills we see today. The result is a landscape that looks like someone spilled a paint box across the desert. At sunrise and sunset, the colors explode. It is one of the few places on Earth where the land itself seems to be made of pure color. Number 10. Tsingy de Bemaraha, Madagascar. The name Tsingy means where one cannot walk barefoot. And once you see why, you understand. Here the ground is covered in razor-sharp limestone needles that rise like a forest of stone knives, some more than 70 meters tall. Around 170 million years ago, this was a coral reef beneath a warm tropical sea. When Madagascar broke away from Africa, the limestone was lifted high above sea level. Rainwater slowly dissolved the rock along cracks, carving deeper and deeper until only these sharp pinnacles remained. The result is a labyrinth so extreme that many areas are still completely unexplored. Walking through the Tsingy on suspended bridges, looking down into bottomless gray canyons of stone, feels like exploring the surface of a hostile alien moon that somehow supports life. Number 11. Mount Roraima, Venezuela, Guyana, and Brazil. A flat-topped mountain rises straight out of the jungle like a giant stone table floating in the clouds. Its walls are nearly vertical cliffs, more than 400 meters high. This is Mount Roraima, the inspiration for Arthur Conan Doyle's novel, The Lost World. The sandstone that forms Roraima is almost 2 billion years old, some of the oldest rock on the surface of Earth. Over hundreds of millions of years, wind and water eroded everything around it, leaving this massive plateau standing alone. On top of Roraima lives a unique ecosystem that has been isolated for 70 to 90 million years. Plants and animals exist here that are found nowhere else on the planet. The indigenous Pemon people call it the House of the Gods. Standing on its summit, surrounded by clouds and looking down on the world below, it is easy to understand why. Number 12. The Darvaza Gas Crater, Turkmenistan, the door to hell. In the middle of the Karakum Desert, there is a hole in the ground that has been on fire for more than 50 years. Flames dance across the crater floor day and night. Locals call it the door to hell. In the early 1970s, or possibly the 1960s, records are unclear, Soviet geologists were drilling for gas when the ground collapsed beneath their rig, creating a large crater. Poisonous methane gas began pouring out. To prevent the gas from spreading and killing people and animals, they decided to set it on fire, believing it would burn out in a few weeks. They were wrong. The crater is still burning today. At night, the glow can be seen from kilometers away, and the heat is intense enough that explorers need special suits to even approach the edge. It is one of the few places on Earth where human accident created a permanent window into the underworld. Number 13. Socotra Island, Yemen. There is an island in the Arabian Sea that looks like it does not belong on Earth. Trees shaped like giant umbrellas or mushrooms rise from the rocky ground. Their trunks bleed a deep red sap that ancient people called dragon's blood. This is Socotra, often called the most alien-looking place on the planet. Because the island has been isolated for millions of years, 1/3 of its plant species exists nowhere else. The famous dragon blood tree, Dracaena cinnamomea, is a living fossil, a remnant of forests that once covered much of North Africa and the Mediterranean. Legend says the red resin came from the blood of a dragon fighting an elephant, or from two brothers who killed each other. For thousands of years, sailors and traders visited Socotra for its incense, medicinal plants, and that mysterious red resin. Walking among the dragon blood trees on the Dixam Plateau at sunset feels like stepping onto another planet that somehow still supports life. Number 14. The Cave of the Crystals, Mexico. Deep beneath a mountain in Chihuahua, Mexico, there is a cave so hot and humid that humans can only survive inside for a few minutes without special cooling suits. Inside that cave grow the largest natural crystals ever discovered on Earth. Some more than 11 meters long and weighing 55 tons. In the year 2000, two brothers working in a silver mine accidentally broke into this chamber. What they found looked like the inside of a giant geode. These selenite crystals began forming around 500,000 years ago, when mineral-rich water filled the cave and stayed at a nearly perfect temperature for crystal growth for hundreds of thousands of years. When mining operations later pumped the water out, the crystals were finally revealed. The cave is so extreme that one miner who tried to enter without protection died from the heat. Scientists who study it must wear ice-cooled suits and can stay only short periods. It is one of the most beautiful and most deadly places on our planet. Number 15. The Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. And finally, the place that many scientists say is the closest thing to the surface of another planet you can experience on Earth. The Danakil Depression sits more than 100 meters below sea level in the Afar Triangle of Ethiopia. It is one of the hottest places on the planet. Average temperatures often exceed 34 degrees Celsius and can reach over 50 degrees Celsius. The landscape is a nightmare of color. Neon yellow sulfur fields, acidic green and turquoise lakes, bright orange and red mineral deposits, and active volcanoes. This impossible place exists because three tectonic plates are slowly pulling apart. The Earth's crust is thinning, and magma rises close to the surface. Salt from ancient seas, sulfur from volcanic gases, and minerals from hydrothermal springs paint the ground in colors that look completely artificial. Local Afar people have harvested salt here for centuries, loading camels and walking across this alien terrain. There are almost no plants, almost no animals, just heat, color, and the constant reminder that our planet is still alive and still creating wonders that feel impossible. Standing in the Danakil is like standing on Venus or Io, except you are still on Earth. These 15 places are not fantasies, they are real. They exist right now, on the same planet where you are watching this video. Each one was shaped by forces that have been working for millions, sometimes billions of years. Volcanoes, rain, wind, tectonic plates, ancient seas, and pure chance. They remind us that Earth is far stranger and more beautiful than we usually give it credit for. If this journey made you feel even a little bit of wonder, if it made you want to see one of these places with your own eyes, then do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and tell me in the comments which of these 15 impossible places you would visit first. Because the truth is, our planet still has secrets waiting for us, and some of them are more incredible than anything we could ever invent. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next adventure.